We're right here after the draft. Welcome back to the channel. We're going over in this video covering the best picks of day one, round one of the 2024 NFL draft. And we got to get it started with Rome Odunze, who ended up slipping down. It wasn't too far of a fall, but coming to the Bears, but making his way to the Bears at pick 9 was just so ideal for them. They got Caleb Williams, obviously, at pick number 1, and then got to bring in Rome Odunze as well, with a wide receiver core of Rome, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and then they got Cole Kmet, they got Gerald Everett, they got DeAndre Swift. They got some pieces here now, and this is just such a home run pick for the Bears. I think they're going to have such a bright future when you look at this offense, and I think that this is by far the best situation a rookie quarterback has ever stepped into. So I think Caleb Williams has got to be so pumped for this, and as if you saw the videos of him reacting to this pick, he was definitely so pumped because Rome Odunze is amazing. And at pick 9, this is absolutely such a home run pick for the Bears. And if you're a Bears fan, man, enjoy this because this is going to be such a blast. I do think that I saw this one thing talking about how Jackson Smith and Jigba was used this past year in a more limited role because you can't really do too much with 3 full really good wide receivers, and they will have 3 really good wide receivers plus 2 tight ends that are commanding targets. So Rome Odunze may not be used in a full capacity in his year 1, and that's completely fine. If a guy like Keenan Allen, who does tend to get hurt, goes down in any way, hopefully not, but Rome Odunze will definitely be able to step in there, and just in the future, Rome Odunze will definitely have a huge role in this team, and this pick will be, I think this is going to be such a great pick to look back on as a steal. The second guy I want to talk about is such a home run pick here was Byron Murphy, the D tackle out of Texas. True pass rusher, smaller guy, but just straight pass rush winner here. He lined up next to Tavondre Sweat over at Texas, but now he'll be here next to Draymond Jones in Seattle, and man, he's going to get after it, and they need pass rush so bad, and he just addresses this perfectly. Honestly, pick 16 may be pretty light for him. He could have been a guy that I could have seen at pick 9. Let's say Rome Odunze went before the Bears. I could have seen them picking him at 9. He truly is worth that, and his talent is off the charts. So for the Seahawks to get him here at 16, I think they were just running the card to the podium. Super pumped for this, and that's been a big area that they've needed help with, which is that defense, that pass rush, front 7 specifically. I think this pick is amazing for them and really helps address their biggest needs, which is awesome, and also gives them a young player that, just this is probably also best player available. So just great pick here from Seattle. Man, did the Minnesota Vikings have a great draft. They ended up not having to trade up more than just one spot to get J.J. McCarthy, and the trade was only to prevent another team from trading up one in front of them to get J.J. So they really didn't have to give up very much there. They got to keep their first rounder from next year. If you remember, they traded up for that pick 23 from the Texans, and they used that to then trade up here to 17. So J.J. at 10, got their quarterback of the future. Along with they have Justin Jefferson, they have TJ Hawkinson, they have all these weapons, Jordan Addison from last year's first round, and then that pick 23 they used to move up here and get Dallas Turner, which I kind of described it as this is like a nerfed Houston Texans kind of draft from last year, which take that very, very with a grain of salt. I'm saying that they got Stroud and Will Anderson, and here's J.J. McCarthy and Dallas Turner. And Dallas Turner to me is a little Will Anderson-esque, and it's not just the helmet, it's not just Alabama. And J.J. McCarthy and C.J. Stroud are definitely not comparable. Such different players in many different ways. But I do think that the method that this Vikings team used was along the same lines, and it wasn't really intended to be. I think there was definitely potential they were going to package the 2 picks to move all the way up for maybe a Drake May or even possibly J.J. McCarthy if that's where they thought his stock was at, but J.J. McCarthy ended up slipping a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe that's where he was just valued, but ended up falling to them perfectly. Made the trade up one spot, got him, and then Dallas Turner here at 17 is just great value. These defensive players really took a long time to come off the board, with Laiatu Latu being the first one at pick 15 to the Colts, and then Dallas Turner here at pick 17. This is a home run pick. And this just addresses a big hole created by Danielle Hunter's departure to the Texans, where ironically Will Anderson is now paired up with him. So now Dallas Turner is here in Minnesota. Great draft by Quezzy. This is just home run stuff, and I think this pick just sealed it up. I just want to touch on this pick really quick because it is my Pittsburgh Steelers, and I also think that a lot of people had Troy Fautanu, however you like to say it, rated very, very highly in this class, and some people even had him around the 10 mark. No one really had him falling down towards 20 in most of the things I had seen, but I think that this is so ideal for the Steelers. He does have the length that he measured out to be able to play tackle, but also he can slide into guard, and he just fits the bill for what the Steelers team wants to do with their offense and their run game specifically. And I think that putting him across from Broderick Jones is going to be awesome, and at pick 20, this is great value that a lot of people didn't expect to be here at this point. It seems like every year when you're talking about steals, the Philadelphia Eagles and Howie Roseman, the general manager, tend to come into this conversation. And Quinyon Mitchell, again, the defensive players slid a bit, and Quinyon Mitchell is a fabulous player. He fell right into the Eagles' hands. They didn't have to trade or anything, and in many scenarios, I had seen them trading up 10 picks with the Broncos at 12, all this stuff to get Quinyon. But nope, here at 22, falls right into their hands. They get the corner that they need so desperately after watching that be kind of their downfall last year. And I just think that this is just another Howie masterclass. I don't know how they do it every single year, but here it is. It's just like Jalen Carter falling to them last year. There were circumstances there, but this one, no circumstances. Quinyon Mitchell, got to watch him in person at the Senior Bowl. Fabulous corner, and I think this is such a home run pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. This is one of my favorite picks in the whole draft, and the Lions really took advantage with trading up here for probably a player they didn't think would be around this range and a position they really need help with, which is cornerback. And Terrion Arnold happened to just be here at pick 24. They traded up with the Cowboys, I believe, and went ahead and got one of the top two corners, arguably, in this class, being Quinyon Mitchell going at 22, and then they came up and snagged Terrion Arnold here. I think they took perfect capitalization of him kind of moving down the board a little bit due to the mass concentration of offensive players at the beginning of this draft. And they really just capitalized on it, and they addressed a huge need. He's now teamed up with former teammate Brian Branch, who was drafted only a year ago and plays that nickel corner and that kind of that safety position there. So now they're both in the secondary. There'll be chemistry there. I think that's awesome. And I think that this is just such a great pick. This may be my favorite pick, honestly, with how they kind of executed here. So love this for them. And this one may not be a popular good pick to highlight, but I really liked Nate Wiggins to the Ravens. They were talking kind of about his mentality and how he plays, and if you watch his film, he does play like a Raven. He's very feisty. He has that demeanor at that cornerback position, which is so necessary to be successful at the professional level. You got to have that edge to you, and he does for sure. He is on the small side when it comes to weight, and I think that's been a concern of his in this pre-draft process, but that also does convert into a ton of speed, which I think is going to really help in this secondary for the Ravens. They've definitely needed some upgrades. I know Arthur Millette, I think Millette is how you say it, has really stepped up, and Marlon Humphrey had frequently been injured, but I think this is a really solid pick, and this could be really underrated. The corner class gets pretty thin pretty fast, and I think they took advantage right where they needed to here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will continually be covering the second and third day of the draft and putting out videos with the best value picks just like this one. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and thanks so much again for watching.